Thank you so much for staying with us. Moving to the topic of conversation proper. Amid the economic hardship raising the country, the president of Nigeria, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, has requested the National Assembly's approval for a fresh external loan of 1.767 trillion naira to partially fund the 9.7 trillion naira budget deficit under the 2024 Appropriation Act. The proposal submitted during Tuesday's plenary was accompanied by the Medium-Term Expenditure Framework, MTF, for 2025-2027, and an amendment bill to establish a social register for federal welfare programs. Meanwhile, data from the Central Bank of Nigeria reveals that $3.58 billion was spent on foreign debt servicing in the first 9 months of 2024, marking a 39.77% increase from the same period in 2023. Rising debt obligations are compounded by the devaluation of the naira, which has raised external debt burden in naira terms. Nigeria's stated public debt, including that of the states, reached 134.3 trillion naira by June 2024, highlighting growing financial strain as federal and state governments increasingly rely on external borrowing and allocation to sustain their budgets. And this is amid an outcry that each Nigeria is owing 619,501 naira. And with the addition of 1.8 trillion naira, that shows the money now is kind of increasing. But we have with us in the studio this morning to help make sense of this. We have Barrister Darlington Agomo, who is a VOP in-house analyst, and beside him is Mr. Lawale Kundayo, an educationist, the farmer, and a political analyst. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning, Fina. How are you?
Good to have you in today's show. Barrister Darlington, what does this really portend for Nigerians in this recent with the way our economy is? Remember, we're having multidimensional poverty added now in our lexicon, and the 619,501 naira which Nigerians are owing if our debts remain at 134 point something trillion naira. What does it really mean? Addition of 1.8 trillion.
Fina, I am tempted to be angry this morning.
Please don't be.
But because I'm in a public forum and Mr. Okoro is here, I'll have to try to control myself, because this man is creating problem for me and my generation. And I don't see anybody who should be happy with that. Seriously. If I remember what we are told before the fuel subsidy was removed, in fact, I cannot but help to be angry. We were told here that with this subsidy removal, the money will be used to take care of so many things in Nigeria that we are not going to borrow again. Now look at where we are, just under 2 years. Look at where we are. And the borrowing have not stopped too. By 2025, more borrowing will come up, because 2025 budget, 13 trillion naira has already been budgeted to shore it up. So it shows that this government and even the previous one by Buhari, they just came into office to borrow money. They came into office just to borrow money at will, without any concrete plan to repay this money. Somebody wants us to celebrate the fact that we are servicing loan. Can you imagine? We are servicing loan and somebody is celebrating it. Meanwhile, the real money, the main money, the principal money is still lying there, increasing by the day. And we are servicing it with 3.something billion, up to 7 trillion naira, and somebody is celebrating it. Okay, hold on. No. The money you borrowed, what is the effect? Where is it? What are you doing with it? Tell me. You know, when we want to criticize the government, it's not as if we want to. I was thinking that one day I will come into this studio and see one good news that will embarrass me. And I'll be asking myself, you mean Tinubu did this? I mean, a very good news that will embarrass me. Something very, very cheerful. But so far, they are not even thinking along that line. They are not even planning for it. Every day, from one infamy to the other. All because Nigerians have just been conquered. We no longer ask questions. Please, this debt they are mounting for you. Have you asked yourself who will pay it? Because when they leave office, they just go with whatever they have collected. Nobody will ask them question. And you and your children will start suffering.
Some people will tell you that there's nothing wrong in borrowing money. America happens to be the country with the highest debt. People also still say that.
So those people that are saying it, where are they? Who are they? They are those eating from this government. They told us the same thing with Buhari. That was why the man was borrowing with recklessly. Now he had left the debt behind. So Tinubu now came, and the same sycophants are telling you, there's nothing wrong with borrow. You can borrow. I will still have window to borrow.
But looking at the term of the government, they say it is just a way to partially. Now, it does not really mean that this 1.767 trillion naira is going to, in any, mitigate all the deficits in the budget. Say it's going to partially, help out.
It's 2024 budget, too. Are you aware?
Yeah.
We have not entered 2025. This is about 2 months from now. 2025 is still loading. FINA is still loading. Look, this thing is not a joke anymore. Seriously. I don't see how Nigeria will come out of this debt and make any progress. It's not possible.
All right.
It's not possible.
Okay, thank you very much, Barrister Darlington. Now let's bring Lawale Kundayo into the conversation. Now, it's another round of borrowings. Yesterday, we saw we saw in the papers federal government looking to borrow 31 trillion naira. We've had these borrowings, come in from time to time. And yes, like Fina rightly said, borrowing itself is not a problem, but what it is being used for. Now, it's barely 2 months to the end of the year. I can actually say it's barely 50 days to the end of the year, to the end of this year, 2024. And the president has sent in the budget for next year already. Is it wise for Nigeria to go up borrowing when it's just a few days? I call it a few days. It's barely 50 days to the end of this year. Is it wise to go up borrowing? Bearing in mind that with the 2024 budget has gotten into deficit already. We are 9.7 trillion naira in deficit of the 2024 budget. Go ahead, please.
See, when we talk about all these things, we should be looking at our democracy, because we should be looking at the root, you get it, cause of all these problems. The root cause is still this democracy. It's not democracy. We don't practice democracy. You get it? We practice autocratic type of government. We practice a dictatorship wearing something that is different from a military uniform. You get it? Because when you say borrowing, some people say there's nothing wrong with borrowing. I am telling you, a lot of things is wrong with borrowing. Enough problem is in borrowing. Go and ask people who are borrowing. Even America that can pay off its debt today, if they want to pay off that debt, America is in debt, they will clear that debt today if they want to play everything.
So why are they not playing it off?
Yeah, that's because if they are part of the people who are involved in borrowing others. You get it? In lending
others.
You get it? So if they don't borrow, how would they encourage you to borrow? That's why Nigeria will say, America borrowing. America borrow. I began to look at them that you don't know what you are saying. Go and look at what America has. Even anything America does, they are making money. In fact, it's helping the economy. If they go to war, they are benefiting. If they don't go to war, they are benefiting. Whatever they do, they benefit massively. Go and look at the economy.
Is it not a business strategy? Is it not a business strategy? Now, I'm talking about individuals now. Is it not a business strategy for an individual to keep his own money, borrow money to finance a project, and then, have payback by installment while his own personal fund is kept somewhere? Isn't it?
Somebody who is borrowing you, somebody who is lending you money. Why is he lending you money? Because he wants to make profit out of it. Is that not it? That profit could have been in your pocket. You have not thought about that. You get somebody who is borrowing you money, is lending you money, is lending you because he wants to take part of what you have, because you are going to pay interest. That interest is not part of what he lent you; it's what he's taking from you.
And then if you make losses too, it won't really eat
it doesn't. He will get his money back. So anytime you borrow, I mean, anytime you borrow, it's not to your advantage.
Sorry,
Mr. Now, Mr. Lawal. Nigeria, according to central bank, said that Nigeria is using $3.58 billion.
No, please, but I wanted to say, I wanted to tell you to convert it to Naira. Each time you are talking about...
Well, if you convert it to Naira, that shows people will start, but let's see with that.
No, I don't understand in dollars because I don't know. Please convert it to Naira so that Nigerians will know exactly what we are using to service the debt every year. And see what this
is it not better to talk about it in dollars?
Because
because the dollar has more value.
No, you know what? When you say dollars, you get it. You kind of hide. You make it mild because people will be looking at 3 points because some people don't know the amount.
Exchange rate.
But you've been saying we want to borrow 1.something trillion. But each time you want Naira. Now, when you want to talk about what you are using to service that debt, you talk about dollar. Tell us in Naira value. Is it in trillions?
Now, Mr. Lawal,
we are using trillions to service the debt we borrowed in trillions.
$3.58 billion, which is kind of 39.77% higher than what we use in service and loan in 2023. And from the look of things, the 2025 budget that was also, that's yet to get to the National Assembly, it's having $2.2 billion borrowing plan attached to that 47 trillion naira. Where are we headed?
In fact, Buhari, taught us a lesson. No, maybe many lessons. One of it is that he sold our oil up front. Is that not true? He sold it up front, collected the money, and went to sit down. You get what I'm saying? And then we say we have government. And the next person is on board, is borrowing and doesn't even bother whatever. So the next, after this, in 2027, when we have another election, what plan are we going to have? We keep having worse every 4 years. It keeps getting worse. All
right, Mr. Kundayo, thanks very much. I like the fact that you talked about, first of all, America borrowing a lot of money, And I'll ask Barrister Darlington this question, and probably after you now have your take on it. Barrister Darlington, I know you know a little bit of history, so let's talk history. I want us to relate the borrowings, the debt servicing to how it affects our economy. Barrister Darlington, you recall the Great Leap Forward by Mao Zedong and how it failed.
Yes.
And when Deng Xiaoping came to revive it, at that point in time, China had to go through hard times, hardship and all of that. They had to bring in some form of very strict, harsh reforms. And when those reforms were sustained, China started moving up the ladder in the economic indices. They started recording some form of, progress here and there. And if you also talk about the New Deal, after the Great Depression, what Franklin Roosevelt did, and how America came out of that depression a stronger economy, up until after when they now became a global people, after the Second World War. Now we have a president who says, I'm reformist, I'm a reformer, and is putting in place all these policies, Naira devaluation, exchange rate arbitrage, and all of those things. And people are crying about hard times. Barrister Darlington, I want you to rely on the experience of history. And do you have some kind of foresight that in the next 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years, that these policies, as we have also been told by World Bank and IMF, that these policies are yielding results and that they should be sustained?
No.
You don't see any light at the end of the tunnel?
Mr. Okoro, thank you for that historical perspective. But there's something you forgot here.
Tell us.
The leaders who started this reform, they were sincere and focused.
And that is our president not sincere? Is he not focused?
Oh my God. They were sincere and focused. You remember that it was even reported that Chairman Mao had only 2 coats, calico, one for winter, one for summer. And he changes it like that.
And maybe there were no Italian suits then.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. That's where the sincerity comes in.
I'm saying he probably had only 2 because there were no Italian suits to buy.
No. At that time, he can afford American suit. You know it, I know it. But he refused to do that. That was why people key into what he's doing. Did you hear any corruption either Lipin or from Chairman Mao. Did you hear that there was one iota of corruption linked to them? In fact, Chairman Mao had to take the middle class who were opposing his reform. He sent them to the villages to go and farm because they were caught in the wheel of progress. They were opposing his reform. To tell you the sincerity, because the man saw tomorrow. He was looking at the population of China that, look, oh, if I don't do something now, if this population overblow more than this, we are going to be in trouble. That was what was running.
But Mr. Darlington, you talked about focus. And we have a president who in the past 1 month has been going from one international summit to another, looking for partnerships, signing memorandum of understanding with foreign countries to come and help us grow this economy. Yet you don't see any light at the end of the tunnel.
No. You would have told me that Chairman Mao went to America and all this other to come and help him repair the economy. You should have told me that. You should have told me that the New Deal, America came to Africa to come and help them to. You see now, you see why your perspective failed. The person you are talking about, I told you here, they were focused, they were sincere. They know what it means to grow a nation. In your own case now, do you have such a thing? In fact, did you hear corruption?
I just told you one.
What you told me now, does it add up?
You just came back from is it back from Brazil?
Said I had to
attend the G20.
Hold on.
The other time you went to China.
All these people you mentioned.
As at that time, Barrister Darlington, was there this level of globalization?
But some people were making progress then. Some nations were making progress then.
Is this not a new track?
No, please, hold on. The economy you are talking about is Nigerian economy. As I talk to you now, nobody wants to touch your economy with a 10-foot spoon. Forget about all this thing. Okay, all the time you have been traveling.
We have $30 billion FDI inflow, and you say nobody wants to touch our economy.
Where is it? No, where is it? Show me. Mr. Okoro, I have passed that stage where people will come and bamboozle me with a figures.
Stock figure.
I have passed that stage. Let me see it. If any company have set up shop here, please, where are they setting up the shop? Let me show. What are they going to manufacture in Nigeria today? Show me. That's what I'm talking about. I told you here, this thing you are talking about is people who came to leverage on our banks and our naira that has been floated. They just change their dollar, buy shares and stock, and that's all. They go home.
Our banks are declaring huge profit.
Good. So from where?
And the economy is growing.
From which economy? Which industry? You had the Manufacturers Association of Nigeria telling you that the goods they have manufactured are lying there in their factory, in their warehouses. Over 1.something trillion naira. They couldn't sell. So what is the economy growing? These are facts now. These are facts. You mean man who doesn't know what they are saying?
Barrister.
So if you can add all this, why are you now trying to convince me that somebody is...
Okay, Barrister, no one is trying to convince you. Just trying to get you to, see things from different perspectives.
I have tried to. I didn't see anything. Like you are telling me that the light at the end of the tunnel. I want to see the tunnel first, then I'll start looking for the light.
So is there anything wrong in seeking for help or in moving out to, learn what some people have been doing that makes the economy to move forward?
Since independence, we have been seeking for help.
We know that for
the help they gave you, you squandered it. When they cancel your debt under Obasanjo, who grew it up to this extent? With the debt you are owing, are you not supposed to have grown this economy and this nation beyond where we are now? Tell me. You mess it up, you squandered it. So why do you want to go outside and be taking... They will not listen to you. After they have made that sacrifice to help you, you refuse to help yourself. I am telling you, not to talk of the people in government now. With the record they have, nobody will come here to help anybody.
Greece also has such challenge, but all the same, the Western world
is around
to make sure that the economy comes back to normal. So don't you think that, for us to come up to say we are seeking for help, because the other time, the Prime Minister of India also being invited in Nigeria, and also, this is just a way for them to provide solution to make sure that...
Which solution? Fina, you heard what I said here. I said they have helped you before to cancel your debt so that you can grow. You can grow beyond this. Why did you squander it? And you think they will cancel your debt again?
All right,
it cannot happen.
Okay.
If they have a credible individuals in government, now it's okay. But with what you have now, can they go anywhere and even face anybody and say, please cancel? They'll be looking at you and your record.
Barrister, some people might disagree with you on this.
Let them go ahead.
No, the reason is that Nigeria may not have physical cash to run administration, but Nigeria can boast of mineral resources, which is quite attractive to foreign companies. Don't you think that's enough to leverage?
Are you serious? Moses, the crude oil God gave you, oh God Almighty, please, there are things you don't even need to say. It's an embarrassment on its own. As I talk to you today, the only refinery that is working from an individual is selling his product to the Western nations, to West African nations. And you, who God has blessed with crude oil, is now going to import crude oil. Since independence, have you managed this crude oil that God gave you? That Saudi Arabia, Libya, all these other OPEC nations have used to grow their economy. Have you managed your own?
So, Barrister, you're saying there's no reason for any country to want to borrow Nigerian money or do business in Nigeria?
They should not borrow. They have borrowed us enough. Let them stop borrowing.
All right.
They have borrowed us enough. They should not borrow. IMF and World Bank, stop borrowing us money. You have tried. Go and rest. So don't enslave us.
How are we not going to push it forward, given the fact that some MDAs, like 12 of them, are yet to get their salary? And that also happens.
Good. Let me tell them what Mahatma Gandhi told these people. When they told him that, look, we don't have clothes to wear, they went to him because the man said you should not import Western attire. The man told them that if you cannot sew your own clothes, if you cannot manufacture your own clothes, then go naked. If Nigeria cannot, you told us of the mineral resources. Are you leveraging on it? Please tell me. Are you mention any other? Let us start from Africa. Apart from DR Congo, no other nation in the whole of Africa have 1/4 of the mineral resources God has blessed us with. Moses, what are you doing with it? Please tell me. What are you doing with it? And you want to go and borrow money, to go and buy yacht, buy SUV, buy plane, and you tell me you are reforming, you're a leader. You want to move us forward. You are not reforming anything. The money you borrow from people, you have already squandered it. You have shared it. It has gone into private pockets.
All right, then. So let me come back to Lawal Ekundayo. You want to say something? Go ahead.
You keep talking about Nigeria is blessed with mineral resources. China did not grow
Is it wrong? Are we not blessed?
See,
no. Answer the question. Is Nigeria not blessed?
I'm not saying Nigeria is not blessed.
Okay.
But we are like,
so Nigeria is blessed.
We are blessed.
From the look of things, I don't know whether it's a curse or a blessing.
No, it's a blessing. But the problem we are having is that we are like children in which we have resources at home and we don't want to work. You get it? The daddy, you get it, is interested in just using that thing for his own selfish end. That's our problem. China has resources, mineral, but they didn't grow by their mineral resources. They grew by their population. Because that's the greatest mineral resources you can have. That's the greatest resources that you can ever have. Two things, good leadership and the people. You get it? Now, that is why you see countries like the Europeans, that's why you see Americans going to China to manufacture their goods and bringing it back to their country.
Of course.
You get what I'm saying?
Yes.
Because when you grow the human resources, the mineral resources will grow. The natural resources will grow at its own pace. But if you refuse to grow the human resources, the mineral resources will be exploited. And when it is exploited, the people, you get it, will be in poverty. That is what is going on in Nigeria here. Now, the government is busy talking about borrowing. China borrowed twice. The first time they borrowed, they didn't do well. They borrowed again from America. They utilized it well and they settled their debt. The same thing with Greece. They have settled their debt. They are not in debt. Nigeria here, every month, our president will talk about borrowing.
Borrow money.
Every month, you talk about borrowing. Agriculture, I said it. I was telling somebody, I said, which I've said many times, Adamawa, you get it, can supply the whole world with agricultural produce.
The whole world?
Yes. It can supply the whole world. If it is ordinary cattle you face in Adamawa, we'll be exporting milk like Friesland.
I'm telling you, and Holland.
If you focus your yams, you get it, on Benue.
Benue yam, exactly.
See that yam, there are so many things you can make from the yam, apart from whether you use it for cooking. They also use it in pharmaceutical because it contains starch. This tablet you take, you get it. The base of that tablet is starch. They have to mix that tablet, that drug, into the starch so that you can swallow it. You get what I'm saying? That's the benefit of starch. You can get starch from cassava, you can get it from yam, you can get it from maize, you can get it from so many other products. Look at sugar cane. You see sugar cane being pushed by these sellers every day. Some people, they export resources from this sugar cane. They convert it to sugar and export it all over the world because everything, almost everything you take contains sugar. Almost everything. And then we have God has blessed us with the land that can produce enough to feed the whole of Africa with sugar cane.
All right.
I'm sorry, sir, I'm coming. Go to the north. That those lands are wasting. Some land like Katsina, if you take 20% of the land in Katsina and convert it to solar, you get it. You install solar panels there, it will supply the whole of Nigeria with power 24 hours. That is what China did. They are doing now. Even some countries in Europe, they take one certain area. What you only generate there is solar. Now we are blessed with wind. We are blessed, which you can convert to wind vane. We are blessed with solar. The sun, which we can convert to solar. And then we are having problem with electricity.
Okay.
Okay, Mr. Tunde,
so let us focus on human resources.
You more like amplified what Moses said, that Nigeria is blessed with natural resources.
What I'm saying that what you can convert the human. What I'm saying that this when you
our
develop
ability to convert these resources
humanity
into
develop
benefits.
your population
Right.
into the working population, and the resources will move at its own pace.
All right, let's come back to the MTEF, the medium-term expenditure framework. That was released last week. We had the FEC peg the price of crude oil at $75 per barrel, the exchange rate at 1,400 naira to $1, then 2.06 million crude oil projection. That's for 2025. Now, if you look at these three indicators, these three parameters, I'd like you to paint a picture of what you think that the economic outlook for Nigeria will be in 2025.
It's gloomy.
How gloomy can it be?
See, each time you want to talk about money,
I mean, the dollar now is at 1,700 and something.
Wait.
But the federal government says it's going to hover between 1,400 and all of that.
Listen to them.
Our crude oil production now is around 1.6, 1.7. But they say it's going to stabilize at 2.06 million.
Now, why? That's why I said that the future of this country is gloomy. It will get worse. Get it? It's a prediction. It's not a prophecy.
No, with these figures.
I'm telling you. You know why? Why are we not talking about something like, okay, agricultural in the next 3, 4, 5 years, this is what we are going to make from agriculture. This is what we are going to develop. This is what we are going to do. This is what agriculture is going to supply. This is the number of people that we're going to employ. This is the industries that we are going to build from agriculture. That's going to. Why are we not using agriculture as the yardstick for our development? Why are we always talking about oil? Because when you talk about this oil, you get it. You are talking about some certain areas, and you are talking about some certain areas that are just benefiting without doing anything. But agriculture cut across almost everybody. You get cut across everybody. Now we are talking about Adamawa now. Okay. See, let me tell you something. Potato. Many of you eat potato. This is not Irish potato. I'm talking about
sweet potato.
Yeah, I mean, sorry, not sweet potato. I'm talking about Irish potato. But you know that this Irish potato grows very well in a temperate region, like Europe. I mean, you get it, the Western world. But why is it growing in Africa, in Nigeria here? Have you thought about that? Because God bless us with certain land that have this temperate
all-round weather
climate that can grow all these things that they grow in the Western world, such as apple, potato, beet. That's why you see them planting all these crops and you are having it. We are not importing it, we are having it. Potatoes. Go to Mambila Plateau. We have Adamawa Plateau. We have Jos Plateau. All these plateaus have their highland that have the temperate, the climate of the Western world. they have the Western world do not have our own climate in anywhere in their own land.
So basically,
but God gave us their own climate in our own land so that we, you get it, can even grow what they are growing and even export it to them.
So basically,
and
Nigeria
we are not talking about all this thing. Every time we'll be talking about
okay, so we're talking about it.
Our oil.
No, we're talking about it now. Unfortunately, the budget, Nigeria's budget and a lot of other things are hinged on oil. Unfortunately, so
Okay.
yes. But Barrister, we've identified the problem. Now, what do you think? In fact, I was going to ask for a solution, but well, in looking for a solution, we need to know how much we are owing currently. Nigeria is owing about 43 trillion naira total. That's both external and internal debts. It's pegged at 43 trillion naira. Now, the president...
Is it not 140 something?
Pardon?
Is it not 140 something?
130 something.
134. Moses, where are you?
I'm getting...
It's 10 years behind.
But that includes both the states.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm talking about the state now. I'm talking about the state. I'm focusing on the FG.
The
Federal government, yes.
What is
But then-
going?
Yes.
You can't separate the two.
Barrister.
You can't. Hold on.
Well, we do
somebody
know-
listening to you. Somebody listening to you.
Barrister, listen to the question.
Okay.
Okay. Now that we have, identified what these problems are, what do you think? Now, the presidency also identifies the fact that Nigeria needs human development. Nigeria can grow with human capacity, human development. Why do you think focus is not on that, human capacity development? Why do you think the focus is not on that?
You have not set your priority right. I'm telling you, I have advocated here that these people should go and look at the Marshall Plan, which an American president introduced after the Second World War, that lifted them up. Even this thing Okoro said about China. Go and ask yourself, how did this, with this population, how did these people survive and succeed? With this population, we don't see Chinese roaming around all over the world begging for money and all that. Do you know what will happen if China should fail today? Their citizens will just litter every street in all over the world. But these people have been able to manage the economy. An economy of over 1 billion plus in population. The same thing with India. Please, for God's sake, are you going to reinvent the wheel?
And that's why our president went there to learn from them.
Oh my God. Mr. Okoro,
Prime Minister.
if a child that was supposed to graduate from a school, primary school, maybe at the 4 or 5 years, you have not done that, and you now started primary school at the age of 20 years, Mr. Okoro, are you still going to hinge your help on such a child? 20 years, primary school. When will he now get to secondary and university and become productive? By that time, it's over for him or her. Is that not true? Everything happens.
Is it over for Nigeria?
Oh my God! From where we are now, and from the depth you are growing, Mr. Okoro, it will be difficult too. I'm not joking. It will be difficult because you need to pay your debt. You need to pay your debt before you can even think of progress or development. That is an economic theory. You can't change it. You cannot be owing so much, and now you want to go and start. What are you building? They will ask you, when you had the resources, what did you do? All this money you borrowed, are you not supposed to put it somewhere so that you know that, yes, I have done this? You tidy it up, then go to the next one. Up to today, with all this money you are owing, Mr. Okoro, you don't have good schools. You don't have good hospital. You don't have good road. The economy is already down. Human capital development, zero. So at what point are you going to come out of this? And start growing your economy?
Barrister
Or is
Darlington.
it by mouth?
Barrister Darlington,
My even word here is the amount of money you are owing. If they start demanding for this money, Mr. Okoro, what would you do? Hold on. If the owners of this money say, look, we need our money. Oh, that means every kobo you are going to make, you use it to service, to pay debt. Even the services, they will tell you, no, please leave the services. We need this money now. What would you not do? You can see where we are. And maybe the people that call this way, by that time, they would have left office and leave it behind for you and me. That's why I'm worried. You don't borrow when you have all the things you could do after all the promises. They promise you that they are going to do this with all the money. Yet, at the end of the day, nothing. And you are still telling me that there is nothing wrong in borrowing. The one you borrowed, what did you do with it? Have you paid it?
All right. Lawal Ekundayo, please, is all hope lost? Like the barrister just insinuated.
It's just
all hope lost?
We need to understand that there's no light at the end of the tunnel.
There's no tunnel.
There's
no
a
tunnel.
ditch.
There's no tunnel.
It's dark. And there's a ditch there because we can
But
hear.
all hope is not lost.
No. You can retrace your step. Okay. That is it. That is the hope. Retrace your step back. Because where you are going, there's a deep void there that you are going to collapse inside. It's already giving you the signal. There's a river. There's a dropping. We call it underground river. It's already dropping into that hole. And you are hearing it. The abyss. So your ear, your senses is already telling you that there's danger. So what we're having now is that people who are talking and talking, they are talking because they are telling us that we need to retrace that. Where we are going, there's a ditch in that place. And we are all going to fall into that mess.
But do you think that
there's a hope.
Mr.
The hope
Lawal,
is we need to retrace back.
You think that the likes of Sowolu of Lagos State don't know about this hole that made them to say that creative art is a new crude oil for Nigeria? Because it's more like they are going back again to tech and all that.
What do you mean? What do you mean by creative art?
Talked about technology, creative art, and all that. Another way
when you want to develop a country, when you want to develop your society, it is not the leader that will be coming today, say one thing, coming tomorrow, say one. No, it is the people that will key into it, and the people will begin to see. The government will begin to see the product what they have injected into the system being shown in the people. You get, like when you are talking about your IGR and everything, I tell people that anytime they talk about internal generated revenue or whatever you are talking about, it means that the government is making more money from you. That is the simple language. You get what I'm saying? The simple language. Every reasonable government.
Or is it that the people are making more money? Because if people don't make money, they can't pay what the government is asking for.
Do you know what they do to us? Yesterday, I was coming from my 2. You get it? I was surprised when these area boys were marking the dispatcher, the machine of a dispatcher. That is NURTO, marking the body of a dispatch rider.
That's what I'm done.
Marking the body of a lorry transporting goods. Are you telling me that is that normal? Is that normal? And police were there. How can NURT mark the body of a dispatch rider? If they don't pay you, they will break your vehicle. They will damage that vehicle.
Sorry, Mr. Kunda, at that point, where was the dispatch?
Nigerians are
at that point, where was the dispatch rider? The dispatch rider, where was he? In the course of duty?
Yes, now.
Doing what? Doing business.
He's doing his business, and somebody is already extorting. Somebody is not doing anything.
Is that extortion?
That's extortion now, because that is illegal.
Somebody.
Yes, now. And that, I was at my job. I was even asking, are they marking dispatch rider again? Dispatch rider with this box at the back. And they collected the money from that guy and they mark his machine. Now, that person that is marking, is human capital, is doing nothing. Waste. The person you are marking, you get it, you are extorting that money. You had the money to the person that is
the price of his services.
No, but Mr. Kundayo, you just talked about IGR.
No, that's what
these monies are remitted to the coffers of government.
No.
And who is suffering it? That's what I'm saying. Who is suffering it? Please, I want to say something.
The way it is in Lagos State now, let us start from Lagos, where all of us are. They have outsourced their economy to non-state actors. That's why these boys are making more money than the government.
Barrister, are these people making more money, or is Lagos State IGR on the increase?
No. It's a lie.
Why is Lagos State borrowing? Why is Lagos State borrowing? If the IGR is increasing,
go to their website.
Why is Lagos State borrowing?
Why is America borrowing? You raised the issue that America borrows.
I've already told you 2 things about America that people don't know. Anytime I talk about America, I mention these 2 things. One, if America wants to pay their debt today, they will finish that debt.
But they have not.
And the second reason is
because it's not affecting them.
They are businessmen. Are part of the people who are borrowing, who are lending people money. And the government is making money from the profit they are making from you. So they need to
All
tell you that.
Now, talking about monies made so far, we know that customs have made over 5 trillion naira this year.
And at what? How much is right?
Overshot.
Overshot
their
from
target.
who? That's what I'm asking.
You see,
Wait, Jonathan, when Jonathan was there, when Obasanjo was there,
You see how we
when
measure
rice
progress.
was, people were groaning, and rice was 5,500 naira when Obasanjo was there. People were still groaning at it. The price is very high. When Jonathan was there, the price of rice was 8,700. You know, government is collecting tax. Let me tell you what the man said in that maritime house that it was an organ they were discussing. He said that the landing cost for that rice is 2,500, and government will collect 100% from it. Then the import,
is that a recent survey?
Of course.
that is what I'm not talking about now. I'm talking about what was happening then.
Okay.
That the 500 naira remaining is the one that the businessmen had to their own. That is what they make. Now, look at that. If government truly is making this percentage from all these things, and the price has gone up to 130,000 as against 5,500, how much do you think is government's money? So government is making more money, but who is paying that 130,000 naira?
You and me.
Who? Is it not the same people?
Yes.
Now, that one, I told you that in 2012, around that time, I was head of a school. My salary was 40,000. And the bag of rice was around 8,700 something. So I can buy 4 bags from my salary. Now, my salary has increased. You get what I'm saying? But that same salary cannot buy half a bag of rice. So, half a bag of rice, I cannot buy it. And you are telling me that your government that you are running is making more IGR at my expense. Am I making? Is my life improving? Is my own? Who make up a country? Is it the government?
It's the people.
So it's the government that make up the country. So when you elect government, you elect them to go there and just sit down and carve their own country out. Is it not for you, for them to go there and run it for the benefit of all? So why am I not benefiting? Why is my life worse than 10 years ago? And you are telling me that there's a light at the tunnel at this age of mine. You get what I'm saying? At this age of mine. So I will not tell my children, or you tell your own child, that don't worry. In 20 years, 10 years ago, this is my life. Now, my life is worse. Don't worry. Your own time too. Let's face reality, my brother. This is what I'm telling you, that anytime government is telling you are making more money, it is at the expense of the people. A non-reasonable government is making money externally. They make more money from the external than from the inside. In America, Trump would tax China, goods that come from China, more than the one that is in their country. Exactly. Because he wants to make more money from that outside that China is making from them. The same thing with you. That's why you see some businessmen running back to this European country and America to run their business, because they see that
now,
when you are producing that side, government make more money from you than from inside. But it's different from here.
Don't you think government taxing the people in a way to make more money is so that it can pay off the loans taken? Don't you think that's
hold on.
Sorry, let's have him talk. Barrister, go ahead.
You don't tax yourself out of debt too. It has never happened anywhere. Moses, get it right. You can't tax yourself out of debt. It's a lie. You only pay your debt through production. When you now export and then you earn foreign exchange, that is when you pay you not by taxing. Already the cash cow you are taxing is already dying.
But in Nigeria, we don't export finished goods. We only export raw materials.
Oh, what's something from
where the little, it has little money attached to the raw material.
So the finished good you are importing here, is this finished that are manufacturing them? Did they stop you from finishing your own products here? No, did they stop you? Look at the crude oil that you are just taking away. Almost 10 products come out of that
20, more than 20.
Let us just say 10. What are you doing with them? You just carry everything, go and give them outside here. And they give you just diesel and fuel.
Buy it again.
You now go and buy it. Look, my dear, we are not moving forward. We don't have leadership here. I told you, we don't have politicians
so
here.
How do we move forward?
The only way to move forward is for you and I to wake up and start challenging what they are doing. If we have been lying too low, I mean, we have sold our rights. In a sinner country, they won't allow this thing to continue. Look at everything they tell you, you just surrender. They are starting money for you for providing darkness, and they just give you estimated billing. You just pay without having any challenge, without talking. When somebody wants to process it, only you go and give them the money. Now we don't want any problem. Then they will not have the impetus to do more. How can you wake up and say somebody who is living in a 2-bedroom flat or even 1-bedroom flat should go and give you 130,000 naira electricity bill in 1 month, and the person will just be going there to beg and all that and all that? You cannot come together and say, no, we are not doing this. If you see any NEPA people, just wait there. By the time you do it to 2, 3, 4 days, they will sit up. But here, nobody does anything. And that's why they have continued. The Minister of Power is telling us today that, yes, they have made enough money. The government is no longer helping them and all that. Where did you make the money? With 5,000 megawatts of electricity. That means you are extorting money for darkness. Is that progress, Ifina? Please tell me. Is that progress? So this thing that you people are taking for a joke is going to, in fact, it's going to boomerang. It will come to a point where people will now say, is that what you're waiting for? We don't want revolution. That's why we are saying it here. Government, go and put on your thinking cap. Nigeria is not making progress under this APC administration. It is getting worse. That's what we are saying here.
All right,
this borrowing must stop.
Okay, Barrister.
We are borrowed enough.
We will take that to be your concluding thought.
Yes, we are borrowed enough for God's sake.
Mr. Lawale Kundayo, can I get a concluding thought, to this topic we just handed?
National Assembly should wake up. I don't know what is going on here.
Are they sleeping?
I don't know.
They are sleeping, no.
Because somebody who's looking at you and is not saying anything, or it's not his body language can tell you that he's sleeping. It's possible. You get that? Because I remember when Saraki was here, he was scrutinized. You get it? Whatever they brought before the
yes, that man helped us under Buhari.
He put pressure on them, and you get. But now it's everything is just is that barrow is automatic. It's just on it. Chaka. Any small thing, the barrow is already signing itself into power. This thing, and our debt within that short time is so high, and then we are still borrowing more.
Sorry. Is it the National Assembly? Is it National Assembly approving what the executive says? Is that the problem?
It's a problem.
How is it?
Yes, it's a problem because they are there. They are there to
Would you prefer a situation whereby the National Assembly stalls everything that comes from?
Don't use the word stall. I don't like that word is begging. Don't use the word stall.
The people
scrutinize.
Please let's pick one after the other.
The reason why those who created this democracy or government and they put in checks and balances is because of this type of thing. They know that government on its own is evil. If you don't check them, they will go overboard. That is why you have the 3 arms of government to check, to have checks and balances. And the National Assembly plays a crucial role. They are the one who, like every kobo that the executive will spend, the National Assembly must scrutinize it and then continue to monitor if they are even spending that money accordingly. That is why in the Western world, they can be able to discover that the British Prime Minister collected some gift.
So if I understand it clearly, the problem is not approving things from the executive. The problem is scrutinizing how those things are being spent.
And then not allowing things that are irrelevant. Like if you didn't utilize the money you borrowed before very well, the National Assembly is supposed to call you to order that let us see what you have done with this money first.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Let's have
that's why these people are borrowing money anyhow, because nobody is checking anything.
All right. Okay. Lawale Kundayo, please.
That's it. The purpose of the National Assembly is to look infinite and look properly at what you present before them. Like Barrister said, if you borrow money yesterday, and we didn't see what you use it for, you want to borrow another one.
Why will I sign it?
Let's see what happened to the first one.
Why will I agree?
Then it will put the borrower in check that, these people will ask questions, and I don't want trouble. Do you know why did they suspend Ningi?
Ningi, yes. He said that you are running for budget. Poor budget, yes, no result.
The revelation that
yes. He said there's some certain amount in the budget that has no account.
I'm happy we're taking this road now, Mr.
And it was suspended immediately.
We are already past the time, but we have to go on a quick break. And when we come back, we'll also talk about this because state government also contributed to the 134.4 trillion naira that were owing as a debt, in Nigeria. Nigerian Anti-Corruption Body, ICPC, tracks 1,500 projects worth 610 billion naira in Lagos, Oyo, Kano, Rivers, and 18 others, even as another anti-graft agency now found out that a certain amount of money is being misplaced and the MDAs. Just stay with us. We'll look at this after this quick break.